Hey guys, so we're going to do a quick tour and overview of the medical supplies in Justin's truck, and so here you go.
All right, first I wanted to start off with just showing you how full my truck is. This is a normal day for my truck. In the wintertime, I've got cold weather gear added to the truck. In the summertime, I'll take this out and put in some different summer gear. But generally, this is how full you're going to see my truck. So no matter what we have to get to on a call out, we're going to have to dig things out and then put it back in when the call is done. So if we want to, you can see how full that is. Everybody kind of knows what the back looks like when it's stacked and put away, but we'll look at that real quick and then we'll come look in this door here.
Hopefully I'm going slow enough people aren't getting seasick.
So I think we'll start out, because one of the biggest things that we always go for is the black bag that has trauma supplies, an assessment, the main assessment tools. There's some in the back as well, and we'll get to those. But for me to get out my black bag, I have to pull some gear out. These boots are generally in a bag, but I haven't put them away yet. I'll do that while we've got this torn apart. I never want to drown, so I always carry my big life vest with me for no matter what I'm doing. That's one of my fears in life, is I don't want to drown. That's a big exposure suit for the cold weather. And this here is a pulley kit that I haven't had to use yet, but we've got it to use with the winch to pull something out of the way or get something unstuck if we ever need to. So to get the black bag out, I actually move my front seat forward all the way, and it'll lift up out of this hole here. So there's the black bag. Okay, so in the black bag, this is again what generally we're grabbing for right off the bat in a call out. This is the IO. I would like to get us to look into the handheld one. I don't even know if I trust this because it's the old battery one, but this is where the IO is. It's hard to get out and in, but that's the best place we have for it. So there's our IO set up right there with our needles and some flushes. The drill, we'll pull on the trigger, still has power. So that's where that is. Some of this stuff we may never need, but we have to have it for our ambulance inspections.
This an OB kit.
Is an OB kit. Gloves, some masks, and our pediatric, what do you call that? Yeah, browser tape. Yeah. In this one, it says burn care. It does have some burn stuff in it. Burn sheet, pain relieving gel. Other stuff, that's something we have to have for the ambulance inspection. Cold compresses, some of these, help me out with terms here.
Yep, splints.
SAM splints, right?
Yeah.
And tape, bandaging stuff.
Triangle bandages, yep.
And then this is on the wrong pouch, this thing here, but sharps container.
You got
flushes,
some extensions and flushes and IV supplies, general IV supplies.
Drip set, Some more drip sets. We had to have a certain amount for our ambulance inspection. So that's a 10.
Yep. Fun job.
So this is under bleeding, gauze stuff. You got your tourniquets, SWAT key tourniquets, and I carry other tourniquets too. They're in my door panel.
Quick claw.
Medications has our needles. And syringes. It doesn't actually have the medications, but it has this thing. This is a inhaler and glucose. We actually have glucose in our other supplies
Medical
too.
kit too. Yeah. Trauma shears.
Shears, a ring cutter that we have to have.
Which is nice to know that you have one of those.
Yeah, I hear they don't work. They're very
Oh, I've
difficult.
used them. They just are terrible. They take a long
Okay.
time.
Suction.
You got suction. You got orogastric tubes, nasogastric tubes,
That's
laryngoscope. You got nasal airways.
He was very specific on the ambulance inspection that these not be expired because I guess they get
They get kind of crusty.
cracked
and
and
hard.
crusty.
Yep. Oxygen.
Forceps.
Not the oxygen itself, but the tubing for it. And tube holders.
Another
And there's chest seal.
chest
It's
seal.
good to know that's where that is. So if we have someone with a broken rib or anything, open chest wound, we need to use that.
That's one of those filters, isn't it?
Actually, it's like a PEEP valve or something.
The filters are
that's
put
a
in
PEEP
different
valve.
bags.
So we got filters though.
Okay.
There's another chest seal. Looks like we need to know both the chest seals are down here in breathing and airway because they're huge, and the rest
Pause
of
that
these
for a
pockets
second.
are.
So back to the black bag, we have a pelvic binder right here in the center.
It's kind of a flat thing. Doesn't really look like a pocket, but it's a pocket. The pelvic binder's in there.
Okay. Now, if we come back here, this bag was added since COVID. This has face masks and gloves. I mean, we had gloves and some glasses if we need to put them on victims when we were worried about splashes, or we could put them on ourselves. We got some hand warmers in here, but this mainly has masks.
Is that where the suits are too? The PPE suits that you guys carry?
No. This
Okay.
is full of masks.
Lots of masks.
And then this one is where I have gloves. A lot of gloves. And some more masks, but mainly latex gloves. This bag has C-collars. And the webbing to attach them to a board.
I didn't know you had that. That's pretty neat too. It's got a tag on it.
Vacuum.
Isolation coveralls. That's what I
Okay,
was
so
curious.
that's probably a Tyvek suit. I've got some more
Right.
in here too.
This is a big bag. They have a lot of stuff in here.
This is where the eye gels are. It's back here in this blue bag. Has some other airway stuff. This is where my HEPA filters are.
So airway filters. That's a CO2 detection device, right? For
Yeah, it's
tube
just
placement
pediatric.
detection.
And that's an adult.
And there's an adult right behind it. Yep.
And then there's a stethoscope right there. O2 mask. Some more oral airway things. Some ambu bags. And O2 right there that I'd like to check. A pediatric
Ambu bag.
bag.
There's another ambu. Yep.
And
Another BVM. Got a number of BVMs in
And you got some ammonia inhalants, some sterile water irrigation, yeah.
Yep. Wound irrigating.
Tubing. That's some more suction. Right there.
Alright. And some suction tubing and stuff you got in there too, looks like. Alright, manual section.
This is another O2 tank that I'd like to check.
The red thing
Yeah,
there?
yeah, the red thing's another O2 tank.
Okay.
Body bag. There's a red bag I want to pull out now. It's up under the tire here. Tied up right there.
You know we're gonna get a call as soon as everything's out.
So there's some more gloves,
Another splint.
another splint. Another IV bag. We have to have 5 of those for the ambulance inspection, so I've got them kind of spread out.
Looks like some more IV supplies up in there as well. And then you don't have to get it all out if you don't want to, but just it looks in there like a IV start kit and stuff too. Yeah, some IV start kits back there with the alcohol prep pad. And then another pelvic sling. Awesome.
And this has a lot of wound dressings. That IV bag's actually frozen.
Wow. Lots of bandaging supplies. Another tourniquet.
Yeah, so that's 3 of those I've seen.
Looks like some syringes down below it.
Stethoscopes.
Some assessment stuff over there. What are those?
Trauma dressings.
Okay.
Some more tape.
Looks like what, iodine down there in the corner?
It's just hand sanitizer.
Oh, alright.
That one's empty and needs replaced. That's some more of it right there.
More alcohol prep pads.
Yeah. I open this one. I think this one's got, yeah, Sharp's container. Oh yeah,
The bigger one.
sharp container. Right there.
Awesome. Hopefully people aren't getting too seasick with my motions here. These are all
This is
vacuum splints.
Part of the vacuum splint. I have a gown in there because I needed somewhere to put one day.
And these are the smaller vacuum splints, right? So
Yeah,
like
so
they're-
then the full body one's up here in this bag.
So the orange one. Okay. So the big
Yeah.
orange one's the full body. And then in here, we have smaller ones for wrists or ankles or whatever too that we can get out.
This is a bag just full of tie downs. If we ever need them, it's got some caution tape, some miscellaneous things, toe strap.
And then everybody knows obviously the litter that we're always carrying there.
Yeah, the litter, we all know that. With it, I just got some. I'm trying to think if those are Tyvek suits or just blankets, but they're in their own bag, and then this vacuum sealer bag, which is a little bit more durable. That was something that got pulled out in a call out, and I haven't got it put back yet. It goes in the cab. I'll show you that in a minute.
All right.
200-foot ropes, maestros, harness for a victim, right there. That's where I just keep some tools that I need. This is actually something we'll probably use soon. It's one of those handy movers. You put the patient on that, and it's got handles to lift them up into a backboard.
Oh, like a mega mover.
Mega mover, yeah.
All right.
This is triage stuff that we have to have for a mass casualty. So we've got the cards. To flag patients with. You've got oral airways, zip ties to zip tie 'em to a patient. And then this is the marking. You got black, yellow, red, and green, and we should kind of all know what those colors are for.
Is that tape or is that just ribbon?
It's ribbon
Okay.
that you tie on somebody.
All right.
And this is where I also keep my other flagging that we use for
Trails.
trails, houses, and things. Back in here, there's 2 bivy bags. We'll use those in the cold weather. Do you want to pull those out?
Whatever you want.
Because we can.
All right. We don't need to open them, but you can pull them out and show them if you want.
XXL. Whoops.
There's one, baby.
And another XXL. But those are 2 bivy bags. And if we ever were on a call out and you wanted to cut holes in those to access the patient, go ahead. We'll replace them.
Just get some new ones.
Yep. I think we have to have the pediatric backboard for the ambulance inspection. It's down there. Never
And
had
that
it
orange
out.
thing?
Yeah, the orange thing.
Okay.
And I think that kind of covers everything in the back of the truck. Got some snowshoes, some body bags. That kind of covers everything in the back of the truck.
All right.
If we ever get somewhere and the tire needs some air, I've got a little hand pump strapped here on the front, and our tube repair kit if we ever needed it. It's just a place to keep it. So I am still a cop, and so I do have a little police gear in here. This is SWAT gear to put on if I ever need to. And it's the best place I've found to keep this stuff. Under here is where I put my blankets.
Kind of down by the feet of the back there.
Yeah, so they're stacked up here. This is also where I keep my heat blankets, the ones that ready heat, they get hot.
I didn't know we
just
had
like
those.
a hand warmer. Oh yeah, we've used these.
Yeah, we've used them. Yeah, I didn't know we had them. I thought we got them from the ambulance. That's great.
And I have, so I have two. They're brand new. I just used one a couple weeks ago up at Tibble Fork on a sledding accident. It wasn't a call out. We just happened to be up in AF Canyon and somebody was waiting for an ambulance and cold, so I used one, but that's where I keep those. Just some coats, raincoats.
Are those things you'd have us send up for somebody, or are they just yours for the truck? I'm just curious.
The raincoat, yeah, we could send up with somebody. The big coat, we could use it, but it's all patched up. This is my really nice deputy coat, 5-in-1 that
yeah, we got.
I wear it every winter, but
That's fine.
I've got spare coats if we ever need to send one up.
Okay. I think as do we all. So.
Yeah. So both of us carry two of these. We're able to hand these out on a jump and run if we need to. Our beacons, we did send back to Peeps to do the warranty thing. So it usually has a beacon in here and a probe. My other one has a shovel, but this is a inflatable avalanche backpack. So if you're ever handed this because we're worried about an avalanche, you would pull, must be on the other side, you would pull this handle out, just have it accessible. And once you put this on, if you pull the handle, a burst of air pops out the big air inflatable rescue deal that helps you supposedly float to the top in an avalanche. But that's what happens when you pull that.
All right. So you carry two in each truck?
Yeah, two in each truck. Every year we have to pop them and replace the O-rings and refill the cylinder. And I've already done that this year. So while we have it right here, I'm just going to check for a second and make sure that it's up to the pressure it's supposed to be at. Because it's good to check, and it is good. It's in the green area. So, all right. This is just my dry suit. If anybody ever needs that on a hot call too, they can jump in that, but that fits me. I've worn it. I have a tripod. For the spotting scope. Also in the spotting scope case is a night vision. We use that all the time. A lot of times Chris has his own, but we have gotten that out and spotted different things.
Is that in every truck too, or is that just in
Yeah,
this
we
truck?
both have spotting scopes and night vision. I also have a FLIR, and I think Josh has a FLIR as well. It's in the other side. We'll get to it.
Cool.
We have a drill to set anchors.
And it has some of the supplies in there too.
Yeah, it's something we need to look at and make sure we have the right ones, but we got the bolts and some of the hangers, some of the drill bits. So that's some bolts and some anchors, and
So it's like set up in a little kit or something,
yeah.
ready to go up.
Yep. Okay, that leads us to the other side. If I'm ever incapacitated or something, if you care, this
We
is
care.
the controller to my winch up front. So it's always
Where
right
does it
here.
go?
But it goes and plugs into the front of my truck, and that's what you use to operate the winch up front.
Where does it go, you said?
Right here by
Right
the
in the
back
back.
headrest.
Okay.
Yep.
Perfect.
We'll go over to the other side now.
Forgive the bumps here.
See, like this is a coat here. I'd for sure send up with somebody if they ever needed. It's good weatherproof coat. This is my FLIR, and I've used it. So this registers body heat. So it doesn't matter if it's day or night. It's gonna. There's a different setting. The body heat can show up as black or yellow, and maybe white. But you can change the setting. But yeah, I've used the FLIR a few times. Try and locate body heat. Defibrillator, AED. This is the laser that we've used a few times to spot somebody. So this is a radio cache. If we were ever working with extra people, we could hand them radios. They're not going to connect to ours. They're just going to communicate amongst each radio. They're basically like a CB, but we keep a radio cache.
So these are the bowfangs we used in the cave thing?
Yeah.
Or the mine shaft?
Yeah.
Okay.
If we ever called in like Rocky Mountain search dogs, we could pass out some radios to communicate, work with other agencies. An avalanche, if an avalanche group came in to work with us, we could hand out radios to have communication. Got a satellite phone. I have handed that out to a couple groups here and there and told them I know we're going to lose radio communication, so there's a way to call. But it works. I've tested it. I keep some flares down here underneath.
How long are
Almost
those? Those things are awesome.
Yeah, we've used these up on 189 Provo Canyon, and in the wintertime we'll get some gates that won't open for us. They're froze. You can get these going and set them next to the tube or drop them down the tube to melt the ice and get the gate open. I got a few extra glow sticks in here in the same little area with the flares.
So down by where the feet are.
Yeah,
Okay.
and if we ever need a intoximeter, I can test somebody's blood alcohol. Could actually be helpful in an assessment if we were worried about alcohol intoxication or not. That would tell us if they're drunk or not. I've got a couple of these chest pack radio things. I don't wear them. I don't really I haven't found a use for them. We can hand those out of the call out if somebody need to have 2 radios going. Okay, here's the drug box that I keep locked up in my truck. It's under lock and key in the truck, and then we got an extra lock. We don't want anybody to get in trouble with, get us in trouble with the drug box. It's stacked pretty full too, with lots of stuff. Like I told you, I have to have 5 of these IV bags in the truck. So there's a good one there.
Drip set.
2 of them.
Yep.
2 drip sets. This
That's
is
a 100
the
ml bag. So that's for the TXA.
yeah, that's for TXA. Nebulizer kit.
So did you guys catch that again? That's the 100 ml. This is a bag of saline. That's what we use to dilute the TXA if we're using TXA.
Nebulizer kit. Right. No, it's your sodium bicarb.
Yeah, sodium bicarb. This is your glucose.
Okay.
Your dextrose, rather, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and then in here we got some boxes for the controlled, which has tags on it, and some of these not controlled, but other important medications we've got. And then we've got the cardiac epi and other things all down in the bottom of this. If you fish in, you'll find there's the baby aspirin, all that kind of stuff. So, all right.